The subject of today's episode is a device made less for pain and torment and more for humiliation and scrutiny. With its origins being uncertain and its location of use being almost as uncertain, it was somehow able to find variations of itself across Europe and eventually in America with seemingly no real connection to one another. In fact, the only thing that any of these pillory-type devices possibly inspired was another device that wouldn't appear for centuries later, and it was probably never even used. With names like the Newcastle Cloak, the Spanish Mantle, the Barrel Shirt, and the Shined Mantle, it consisted of nothing more than a barrel with some holes and possibly some weights added to it for maximum humiliation. Today we cover the Drunkard's Cloak. I'm Kevin Young.
I'm Dan Hergen.
And this is Torture. Hope everybody liked our collaboration episode. It was a fun one to do. And everybody already knows why we, what we said when we met Chicken Cacciatore and Bobby Bolognese and Tony Baloney.
He's my favorite guy ever. I think we're going to have to do like an RPG where we're all Italian mobsters and they all have names like that.
This is Joey Eggplant Parmesan.
Yeah. Tony Tagliatelle.
This is Eddie Ravioli and Eddie Tortellini. I know they look the same. They're pretty much the same thing, but they're different. Just take our word for it. Not that I don't absolutely love Italian food, but a lot of it is just exactly it's all the same thing.
You change one ingredient in a dish and it goes from being one thing to a completely different thing. It's crazy. Like, it's like, seriously, like, it's one of those things. Like, I've done an awful lot of Italian cooking, looked at an awful lot of Italian cooking recipe shows, did courses, all this other stuff. And it is literally, there are dishes where if you change one singular small component, it changes into a completely different dish. An Italian would slap you across the face for calling it the other thing.
Yeah, it's a completely different thing.
That's not that. That has Parmigiano Reggiano in it, where this other one has Pecorino in it. So, bam!
Exactly.
It's like, oh god,
that's Asiago, my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's one ingredient changes what the dish is called and where it's from. Like, you can't put pepper in that. That's Southern Italy. This is Northern Italy, you fuckhead. Yeah.
And the words
it's
of
the same thing with
my hero, Chief Wiggum, damn filthy Italians.
It's the same thing with Mexican food. What's taco? Tortilla with meat, cheese, vegetables, lettuce, tomato. What are nachos? Tortillas with meat, cheese, lettuce, tomato. What about a gordita? Tortilla with meat, cheese. It's
one's
the same
steamed,
fucking
one's
thing.
wrapped up, one's open. It's like a burrito is the same thing, but with rice. Like, what's that? Chickpeas. What's that? Lentils. What's that? Chickpeas and lentils. Try it with some rice.
Oh, fuck. Well, before we get going, we always say email us, DM us, rate and review us if you want, and we'll read it on the pod. And we got such an email. Hi, Dan and Kevin. I only started listening to your podcast yesterday. This was actually sent to me a couple weeks ago, but we took a little time off with the collaboration episode. But I'm about halfway through the episodes. You're doing an amazing job, and I actually love listening to your food discussions. Go figure. Which it was not planned, I promise. The more random, the better. Ha ha. that makes me happy listening to you, and I like the dark humor. It breaks up the horror. Dan, in the Crushing episode, you mentioned the Dark Pictures anthology. I love those games so much. Have you played them all? The latest one, The Devil in Me, has a lot of torture themes, as it's about the serial killer H.H. Holmes and his murder castle, so that one is really relevant to the podcast. Kevin, I like learning about the different foods and snacks in America. They seem strange, yet I sometimes don't know why I've never tried them, because they sound great. Thank you both for reading. P.S. I'm English, Southeast, and love both of your accents. Lots of people say we don't really have accents, which makes me sad. Sorry, I've started babbling. Bye, Abby.
Well, Abby's from Southeast England. That means she's probably towards London, so you do have an accent.
If you're from the London area, you have an accent. I hate to tell you. Abby, thank you for the email. Never be sorry for babbling. Without it, we wouldn't have a fucking show.
Yeah, I was going to say our whole show is babbling. Like pre-show, after show, everything that you can subscribe to on our Patreon is nothing but babbling.
Something pops into one of our heads, and then we talk about it for 2 seconds, and then that's the whole. We've redone the fucking podcast. So,
sometimes I wonder if we have ADHD or something, because
it has crossed my mind, some sort of it. Glad you like the dark humor. Otherwise, this would definitely not be the podcast for you.
Except on the Dark and Pictures anthology, I bought them. About 5 minutes after you asked me the question, I went, "Hey, they're on sale." So, I have not played them yet. I've seen a playthrough to a certain extent where my son has been playing one of them, and I saw a bit of one of them. But yeah, I plan to start them in order. I'm playing Ghosts of Tsushima at the moment, and once that is finished, then I plan to start them, and then I'm going to take a break in between each one.
Yeah.
To try something different, and start making my way through them. But I have the From Ashes downloaded, ready to go. Mm-hmm. So, because I have to complete all these before I buy that thingy game, Baldur's Gate.
You watch your whole system crash every time you tried to save it.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. I have no actually real. I like to game, but I don't get to, so I'm kind of behind on a lot of the shit. What exactly, for people who don't know, is the Dark Anthology? The Dark Picture Anthology?
They're very, as far as I can see from what I've seen briefly of them, because I didn't want to watch too much to get it ruined on me. They're very cinematic games, like these choice-based system games, and they all seem to be horror themed. Stuff like that, and they seem to have real star-studded casts of really well-known actors that are like 3D scanned into them, like, and they visually they look fantastic. So like I know that there's that they all seem to carry very different style of horror themes each time. Like I know one of them something to do with a werewolf, and I think one of them's to do with like a slasher style killer. I think. Don't hold me to that again, because I've watched very little of it on purpose, because I saw a little bit and went, that looks kind of cool. Sorry. I've never really played many of those choice-based things. You know what I mean? Like it looks. I don't know if you ever played like Heavy Rain. It looks like that's cinematic style.
No, but I know the type that you're talking about, though. Yeah.
As far as I can see, it's that style, cinematic wise. But correct me again if I'm wrong, Abby. Another reason for you then to get back in contact. Tell me if I'm wrong. But yeah. That's what from what I can see, that's what they look like anyway. They look really good. Something very different to what I normally play. So I'm still playing Alien again. Crawling through vents and pooping my pants. So I had a moment where I just turned it off and nope. Turned it off and walked away.
Can't do it. No,
I forgot the controls for a second, and I threw something at the alien as opposed to hide. I was trying to hide, and instead of I was meant to use like a flamethrower or something, and I threw like something. I don't know what it was. It might have been like a flare or something at its face, and it just kept coming. It was like, ah!
You tried to John Wick it by throwing your weapon at it.
Sadly, it did not work.
Fuck. Well, as far as the food stuff goes, food's here. I guess they're kind of strange. Most of the world looks at us like we're fucking crazy for some stuff. I mean, fuck, I know you go to a state fair around here, you can get deep fried butter. So.
Well, up in Scotland, they deep fry everything, so.
Yeah, in our defense, we also look at the rest of the world like they're fucking crazy for some of the stuff they eat. And we also look at different parts of this country like they're fucking crazy for some of the shit they eat. Lots of cultures and food choices because of how fucking big this country is. So, I mean, what you do in, Northeast is completely different than what they do in the Southwest. And,
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That's it. Over there, though, you have a smorgasbord of everything, which is what I like about it. Like, you can go out there and you can very easily, from the time, like, I was in, like, New York and New Jersey and I was in, I think it was Rhode Island, I can't remember the name of the place, but there's a few places in it anyway, and it was very easy to find anything you wanted of any style of anything, and usually decent quality of it too. So
yeah, especially if you go to a bigger city, if you're wanting something, there's you can get pretty much any type of food you want.
Yeah.
It like that interview that I saw with Tom Holland, where he's talking about, well, you don't like American food. It's like, well, what do you consider American food? It's like hamburger. Okay, well, that comes from Hamburg in Germany. It's like, okay, but
you took it over as your own thing.
We took it.
Yeah,
same French fries. Yeah. And French fries. It gets always like, it has French in the name. It's like, French is a style of cutting. It's not. It doesn't mean that they came from France. You fucking douchebag. But that's the thing with us. America is all cultures from across the world have kind of just bled into America, or you could say that we've stole them, which is perfectly valid. And then we take the food that goes along with that culture and we completely make it our own. So
but that's like, it's like one of my favorite things. It was like the whole concept of Tex-Mex. I think I love the idea of it because it doesn't hide behind anything. It knows exactly what it is. It knows this was Mexican food. We are now Americanizing and bastardizing this, and it's now our thing. And it's not like you're hiding behind.
It's still fucking delicious.
And it's really funny as well. Like you come across things, it's like American diners here or anywhere. If you hear say American food, it's always burgers and hot dogs and all that stuff. And it's kind of like they're not originating from America except for the hot dog. Allegedly anyway. That's what Nathan's is supposed to be where that originated from. But like an awful lot of good stuff that you guys have comes from Canada more than anything.
Some of it, yeah. We did the waffle cone was ours. We started the waffle cone for ice cream.
That's something to be proud of.
That's us. Have you ever had a fucking waffle cone? They're delicious.
I'm sorry. Your claim to food fame is you taking something that already exists somewhere else and turning it into another thing. You basically went. It's like taking.
It's our entire culture.
I know, but it's exactly. It's like the whole thing. KFC having the double down with the chicken fillets instead of the buns. And it's like we've changed what this is usually for and turned it into something else. Like that's all you're doing. That's what we do. That's all we do.
Waffle though. That's all we do for food. That's it. I mean, biscuits and gravy. That's you look at America, especially in the South, biscuits and gravy is kind of something that was created here.
You can claim the sub, as far as I'm aware.
We can claim the sub, the hero. Fried chicken, deep fried Southern fried chicken. I don't know if that was anywhere else other than here. I think that kind of started at the slave times here.
If it's brown, it's probably American.
Probably. And fucking delicious.
Yeah, typically.
I mean, your cholesterol goes through the roof and you will die sooner. But, man, what a ride.
Sweet, sweet death's embrace. Fried chicken.
We have these new Doritos here called Ultimate. What I was thinking, we have they're called Ultimate Cheddar, and I looked up the UK version of Doritos, and you guys have tangy cheese or something like that, and they look exactly alike. And I'm thinking maybe they just changed it. I think that might be the UK version.
Well, we've had those for years. They've been like the only ones I like for years.
The tangy cheese.
Yeah, they look the exact same.
Yeah. Ultimate Cheddar Tangy. The bag is exactly the same. The chip on the front.
Have we had the tangy cheese longer? And you've never had them before? You didn't have tangy cheese?
No, because we have nacho cheese. We have good Doritos. I bought a thing of the Ultimate Cheddar. I have them in the other room. I ate them with dinner the other night or last night, and I went, these aren't great.
Maybe the ones we have are the nacho cheese ones.
No. You look at the nacho cheese one, man, and it is completely different. And I'm not even talking about the bag. I'm talking about the chip itself. The chip is a much darker orange. It's definitely nacho. Yeah, it is.
Well, what I'll have to do in the food bag thing, I'll have to send you one of the tangy ones, and then you can tell me if it is that.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you a bag of actual Doritos. Have you ever had a bag of nacho cheese Doritos? Actual Doritos,
no,
way they're supposed to be. I will send you a small bag of actual Doritos.
Oh, see those? They're red. They're red bag.
Yeah, those and the spicy sweet chili, I believe they're called. Those are the best ones. They're fucking amazing.
Hear that, Abby? Get your hands on some of them bad boys.
I found a place you can order a bunch of that shit online.
Yeah, there's a crowd here that do things. They're not really too far away from me either, as far as I'm aware, but they're wickedly expensive. Like to buy American candy here, like, and like just what I've seen, it seems to be very expensive for what they are, for here. But there's a section in a supermarket here that's purely for American candy, and it's ridiculous, like Twinkies. I don't like Twinkies, right?
I loved them when I was a kid, but I've kind of gotten over them.
They kind of leave a harsh thing. It kind of feels to me like as if you're eating attic insulation, like fiberglass insulation, with a little bit of crappy cream shit pumped into them.
Yeah.
And they just leave this kind of thing in my throat. Yeah, I never liked them. But I have to get some sometime to get the young lad to try them. But you can get them here all right, easily enough. But
I told you I'm going to send you some Star Crunch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those are fuck. You know, snack cake. That's what you go with. Anyway, thank you for the compliment, Abby, on our accents. I'm going to assume you mean both of our regular Irish and Midwestern accents and the ones we make up when we're mocking other countries, because it makes me feel good.
Yes, of course.
Anyway,
especially love Kevin's Asian accents when he's doing Asian names.
You mean how that's not an accent, that's just me fucking up.
Oh, there you
go. I try to say them with being as least offensive as possible, but it never works out the way I plan on it. Oh, fucking hell. Well, thank you for the letter, Abby, or the email. We appreciate it.
I'll try and keep you updated on my progression to games when I get a chance to do them.
Yeah. Fucking great. All right, Dan, let's take you back to the mid-1600s England. Favorite place, I know. Specifically, Newcastle upon Tyne in northern England. And let's say, Dan, that you like to have the occasional drink or two or seven.
Yeah. And what are you going to do about it?
What he's over there like, what's your point? You want to fight about it? Yeah. And you are by now pretty deep in. So much so that when you leave the pub, which was probably illegal in its own right, you stumble drunkenly down the road, yelling at pink elephants and pissing yourself. You are quickly wrangled up by the local constabulary and taken in. Now, if this was your first offense, or maybe even your second, you would be charged with public drunkenness and fined 5 shillings. But you, Dan, have been taken in more than a few times, and it's time to teach you a lesson.
Naturally.
Yes. Now, from what we have learned on this show about medieval England, is that to teach someone a lesson usually involves some type of maiming or stretching or burning. But in this case, they found that just good old humiliation works best. So what they bring to you isn't covered in red-hot hooks or large metal spikes or ropes and pulleys, but a wooden barrel.
Filled with whiskey.
Well, a man-sized beer barrel, to be exact. And it was probably mead. Could be beer. Who knows? Empty with the lid off and a hole cut in the bottom and 2 on the sides, and possibly a sign tacked on the front and or back that says something along the lines of, "I drink too much," or "I'm drunk."
And after barrel for the good old classy stuff that is Newcastle Brown Ale.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, it's not nice, but No offense, Newcastle.
It's not nice. It's not me.
No.
But...
No.
Now, after said barrel is brought to you, the opening slit over your body, your head and arms pulled through the holes, you are taken out into the street, probably in the morning after you sobered up enough to understand what shame is again. You are paraded around town, forced to shuffle around in front of all your fellow Newcastlians, if that's what they're... I don't know. Newcastleans? Newfies?
Don't know.
I don't know. Lumbering around in this barrel, which can sometimes weigh up to 110 pounds on their own, with friends, family, and co-workers looking on, laughing, throwing rotten food, mud, offal, dead animals, and animal excrement, possibly even their own, in your general direction, and doing pretty much anything they can to embarrass you into never drinking again. In case you don't know, offal is actually animal intestines.
Oh, yeah, I knew that, all right, but good luck with that, boys.
Bring on you think this is going to stop me? Bring it on, bitches!
Bring on the motherfucking barrel.
Well, why was it illegal in the first place? Well, for that, we have to go back about another 100 years to the passing of the Alehouse Act of 1551. An act of Parliament of England that was passed in 1552 to control the, quote, abuses and disorders as are had and used in common alehouses. So pretty much keep people from drinking. That's all, you know. And that would actually lay the foundation of modern licensing laws in the United Kingdom. So, you know, before that, you didn't have to have a liquor license. Now, you have to have a liquor license, which is pretty much just say, here, pay the government, and they'll let you sell liquor.
I mean, pay tax upon the tax that you're already paying on the alcohol?
Exactly. That's all it is. Now, for the next 50-plus years, this act did little to nothing to deter the citizens of the UK from drinking in excess. It was a civil offense, which meant a small fine if caught. That is, until our old friend King James, you know, the Bible guy.
Yeah.
We've spoken of him before.
Really famous. Yeah. He rewrote that really famous book to include all of his favorite bits, that guy.
Yeah, and he took out the bits he didn't like so much.
Yeah.
He rewrote a book that had already been rewritten 5 or 6 times in languages nobody read anymore. So
basically he did kind of, well, I was going to say, he kind of pulled Tolkien on it in the sense that he released this book that was filled with all the stuff that he liked in it. And it had this entire backstory and all this load of stuff to do with this world that existed in bygone times, whatever the word is. And yet we take that, which is a far less interesting read, as a proof of religion over Tolkien and his dwarves and his elves. And I'd much prefer that. It's a...
Well, in both cases, the Jews are the bad guy.
That's true. Because,
Sorry. Well, he decides to come up with some creative ways to punish people for simple crimes. This included, according to the Big Book of Pain, Torture and Punishment Through History by Mark P. Donnelly and Daniel Dell, the Drunkard's Cloak. Now, there isn't any real information on the barrel being used around this time. It's just these two torture historians, or and authors that got together, looked at some of the weird things King James did as far as punishments, and like, well, this was probably used too. But there isn't any real information of the barrel being used at that time. There is, however, plenty of information of the cloak being used in the 1650s under the rule of Oliver Cromwell, the English soldier and politician who served as Lord High Protector of England, Scotland, and Ireland from 1653 to 1658.
Basically, to all my Irish brethren out there, complete with a prick.
Yeah, yes.
The infamous Cromwellian invasion.
Yeah. He actually is in my notes to get his own fucking episode because he was a douche.
Yeah.
Disliked games, dancing, drinking, just an all-around miserable stick in the mud. This was a time when Puritan law really laid sway to the political ideals hovering over the land, and things like drinking to excess were greatly frowned upon. Because,
fun.
Yeah, nobody, can't like fun. Also, most of the information that is out there focuses mostly on the area of Newcastle, so much so that the Cloak has also been known as the Newcastle Cloak.
Yeah.
Why? Yeah.
Because it's a rough old area, so it is. It's full of drunkards and people who talk funny. The Newcastle accent's awfully funny. The Geordies. You should look them up if you haven't listened to them. They have an awfully funny accent, so they do.
I didn't think about listening to their accent. But...
Oh. You're in for a good old time listening to them talk.
Well, fuck, let's do that now.
Sorry, Newcastleians. I'm gonna Google you up as well. Newcastle accent.
I'm going doing the tune for a mint time.
It's time to take a closer look at the Geordie accent. The first feature we're going to look at is the short vowel It's present in words such as up,
you have to get up the same video I am to learn a Geordie accent.
sound.
That's the first thing.
However, in the Geordie accent, this will be shorter. Listen to Sophie saying pretty, billy, silly, and city.
Pretty. Billy. Silly Billy.
Silly Billy.
That's pretty silly. It's a pretty city.
It's a pretty city.
The dark L. Now, the dark L can change from
if we have any listeners in Newcastle, I apologize.
Yeah, if Ant and Deck are listeners, they're very famous Geordies. Ant and Deck, if you're listening, sorry for you, lads. Back a Grove.
Jesus Christ.
Just a very famous TV show based in Newcastle called Biker Grove that was on years ago. And, yeah. Don't know what to say about it.
I don't know. Oh, shit.
See, I did say I put up Trustpilot review.
Yeah.
And it was because of the fact that I kind of nearly wouldn't want to do an ad like this without actually trying the things out. So both you and I have ordered numerous products. I have ordered, I think it's 3 of the bundles.
Yeah.
Got the beard growth bundle with the derma roller and the growth accelerator, which I will report back in on over time because it takes weeks upon weeks, a couple of months for it to properly take effect.
Yeah. Right, yeah, it's not one of those things where you put it on and all. It's like a cartoon, you put it on and it just comes out.
Yeah, it's not the Moxinel. That's what it ain't. Like, I wish it was. But I did get the shampoo conditioner bundle. I got 2 bundles of the oils also, where it has the elixir and the day tonic. So I got 2 different scents in that one of the silver tier. I think it was the Viking Storm, and I got Homer's Poem, the gold one.
Yeah, I haven't. That's the one I don't think I've tried yet. And I might get it next time I order. Yeah. Is it? What's it smell like? You know?
Like sex. I don't know. Like it's really good. Like no, like Alison loves it. See, the thing is, it's got. Whenever I put on yours, I'm going through the Viking Storm one first, and she was like, "Ooh, the smell of that." And then the other day, because I wanted to test it out, what it was like, I threw on the night elixir for the Homer's Poem, and she was like, "Oh my god, that's way better!" Like, and the price difference between them was only a couple of euros, so I'll be buying the gold tier one next time around again, I think, because genuinely it is way nicer. But I think they're great though, because like I always used another kind of brand and stuff, and it's worked out a good chunk cheaper, and it is way better quality. This stuff is so.
You got to wait for it to be shipped to you, which can sometimes it's a lot quicker now than what it was before when they first started out. When I first got with them about 3 years ago, it took a long time to get the shipment in, and now it's a lot quicker. But for that little bit of time, you have no wash, you have no oil, and you go to the store and you get just the off the shelf stuff, and oil is oil, but honestly, there is such a difference between the stuff you're buying at the store for $10 and what you're getting at the Beard Struggle. That's why I keep going back to them.
No, 100%.
I love them. I do. Even though I've tried others, be like, I'll give this a try, see if it's any good. But it's something you kind of have to do. If you're, to see how good the quality product is, you need to try something else. And every single time it's been, well, that's no good. Get more Beard Struggle.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I am now as well. And they have a sampler kit for each of their things. They have a balm sampler kit. And
it comes with the. It comes with their standard scents that are kind of always there. Yeah. And so if you don't know what you would like, which so far I have not found one that has not gone over well with the wife, which is really what matters.
Straight.
But if you don't know what scent you like, you get the sampler kit and you find out. You'll probably find out that you like all of them. And if you want to get that, use our exclusive discount code TORTURE19 at checkout. It's beardstruggle.com. Do what's right for your beard. Do what's right for your face. Now, so anyway, with much of the UK, the drinking culture in Newcastle runs deep. In fact, Newcastle claims to be one of the first town in England to brew beer. And Newcastle hospitality, quote unquote, was a well-known phrase in the 1700s, which pretty much just means to take someone out drinking until you can't see straight anymore. Kill them with kindness is what I've heard. Now, is this different from much of the UK or from much of the civilized world? No. But some people thought it necessary to shine a spotlight on Newcastle anyways. Mostly the residents of Newcastle. So
yeah. Brought up tourism.
It's like, you see all those fucking drunks? It's because of us. The fucking barrel they gotta wear? It's not me. I did it.
I was actually in Newcastle once.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Got off the boat. Kept going. Out the other side. Didn't spend any time, and just in case anybody from Newcastle is listening, it's not because I don't like the place. I just was genuinely in a rush to get somewhere, so I couldn't stay. I would have, but
hit the ground running. There's a lot of cities over here I've been in, and I just kind of went right through. But there's specific reasons for that. A lot more guns here than in Newcastle. And more people willing to use them.
That's true. Well, you haven't met the Geordies yet. That's the thing. Oh God!
All I can think of is National Lampoon Vacation.
I was just thinking the same thing. Yeah.
Thing is I've been in that area of St. Louis many times, and it's not wrong.
It's the thing we kind of say about here in certain areas as well, like where you say, like, "Oh, they take the wheels off your car while you're still driving," kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yep, it's when like bands or comedians or anybody who's doing some type of tour comes to St. Louis, and they get robbed, we say that they were met with the St. Louis Welcoming Committee.
We've had St. Louis hospitality.
Yes, we've had more bands and comedians that I can count come to St. Louis and lose half their shit because they parked in the wrong area.
Not going to St. Louis? Check.
No, I wouldn't recommend it. It's not all bad. There's many parts of St. Louis that are very nice, but there's also many parts of St. Louis that are not. Anyway, now this wasn't the first use of the barrel type device being used for this punishment. 13th century Germany, there was something known as the Scheinmantel, or the coat of shame. Now, having no specific alcohol bans, this is Germany we're talking about, it suggests that the Scheinmantel was most likely used as a punishment for poachers and prostitutes. Now, the Scheinmantel was weighted down along the lower rim and around the neck opening as a way of corporal punishment in addition to the severe public humiliation it posed. It looked a little different from the actual Drunkard's cloak. It wasn't just a barrel with holes cut in it, more specially made barrel specific for this purpose.
All right.
And it could sometimes have non-lethal spikes inside, just to add a little bit more pain to the punishment. Again, this is Germany. Gotta, But what if we put spikes inside?
Make them out of chocolate, yeah.
Now, with that said, it's thought that this may have led to a misinterpretation of the function of a partially reconstructed shined mantle. So you have a shine mantle that's kind of just like half of one, and they look inside it, and they can see all the little like spikies. And so, the 18th century, they developed another quote-unquote torture device that looked much like that they thought this was the purpose it served, and they called it an Iron Maiden.
Ooh.
Yes. They're like, ooh, look at that! It's got spikes! Let's make a torture device and then never fucking use it!
Ironically, all the spikes inside the barrel were there for during the brewing process. They'd be turning the thing around and to filter out all the crap or something. It's like an ancient sieve. But no, it's a torture device.
It agitated like this, like a washing machine.
Yeah. Now, put Sigmund in there. Let's see how he gets on. Go on.
Oh. So these occurrences, along with the observations of one 19th century historian, who noted that no mention of the punishment was made in any local documentation, prompted a one William Andrews to suppose in 1899 that the drunkard's cloak was a custom imported from the continent, which meant, mainland Europe, and that it was used in England and was confined to Newcastle. So pretty much just brought from what they were doing in Germany over to just Newcastle, which makes no sense.
Yeah.
It could also
maybe somebody from Germany was there on the holidays and they saw all the goings on. And said, you know what this place needs? And then you jump back on the boat, back across.
Have you no shined mantle?
Yeah. And they bring it back. And what it actually was, yet again, was a means of cooking sausages. They'd have all the sausages on the spikes, and they'd be rotating around and have a hot
it's just a smoker
in the center, and they'd be going around. And then somebody thought, let's stick somebody inside. And then that was it.
It's just a smoker. It's a giant bingo barrel. They just put a bunch of balls in it.
Yeah, for good old bingo nights in the middle of Newcastle, and everybody's really drunk. Drunk bingo.
Get inside the barrel.
Yeah.
They did it on purpose. It wasn't a punishment. They just enjoyed it. Oh, Steve's getting in again. Fucking Steve. So this William Andrews guy thought that maybe it was something that was brought over from, the mainland continent of Europe over to England, just to Newcastle. It could also just be the idea of putting a drunk inside the very barrel the alcohol came in was just the obvious next step. So Steve's getting drunk again. Put him in the fucking barrel. Just put him in it.
It was probably like a stag do or something like a bachelor party, as we call them, a stag party here. Like it's probably a bachelor party, and they stuck one of the drunk guys into it, and I went, "We got an idea."
It's like Beer Fest. Have you seen Beard Fest with the Broken Lizards, the guys who did Super Troopers?
Yeah, I saw it years ago. I haven't watched that in so long.
Kevin Heffernan falls into the giant thing, or he gets pushed into the giant thing of beer, and he just starts drinking it. Yeah, it's just that. Guy fell into a barrel, and he just drank his way out. Like a cartoon.
Yeah.
With their perfectly cut holes, arms through.
Slush. There's a straw sticking up out of it.
Give me some, and he just tilts over and pours some in somebody's drink.
Oh God, an armpit beer then. No thanks.
Listen, I've seen some people drink some shit, and a lot of them would not care. Once you get a few in, they do not care.
I was the same after a few anyway.
I was at a guy's house, good friend of mine. He doesn't listen, so it's fine. But he had this garage he had kind of turned into a kind of a bar. And he found, I mean, they were all drinking. We were watching UFC fights. And he finds, just out of nowhere, this old, dusty bottle filled with some liquid. And he doesn't read what's on it. They don't try to figure out what it is. They just pop it open and start chugging from the fucking thing. It's like, that could be rat poison for all you know. It wasn't, luckily. It was some type of old, like, gin or something, but... Yeah, I say,
my friend's father has a bar in his house as well, and it's like filled with all these random bottles. And we found one bottle that was in the shape of a sword, where it was like the blade was the glass, and it unscrewed the end of the hilt, and it takes it off and pour it out. It took us many a year to convince him to allow us to even open it. He didn't even know what alcohol it was. It was rum in the end, and it was absolutely putrid. But
that makes sense.
Yeah, but
rum and a sword.
So worth it though.
Is that a pirate type sword?
I don't know. It was like a scimitar type thing.
Well, that's different.
Which kind of lends itself to the style for if you're going to have to have it as a bottle, it has to be a bit of a bulky sword as opposed to a thin sword.
Yeah.
So that kind of made sense to me. Sorry, I'm trying to fix my shoe.
All right. So a similar device was used in Holland. Notes were found saying that it was used in Delft in 1634 and The Hague in 1660. One author also recorded its existence in 1784 in Denmark, where it was called the Spanish mantle. Now, why was it called the Spanish mantle from Denmark? Because if I remember right, back in this time, the people from Denmark didn't think that the Spanish were actually human beings. So that's probably why.
It was the sausage barrel cooking guy again. He showed up in a film with Chalito, and they're like, "Yeah, that's Spanish sausage. Yeah, there you go.
Ooh, that's spicy. Put him in the barrel." Now, it wouldn't be until around the 1860s when the device made its inevitable appearance across the pond, as they say, in America. Now, in the 1860s was a very important time in American history. A little thing called the Civil War was going on. So here's the thing. Americans just call it the Civil War. Like we're the only fucking country to ever have a goddamn
Civil War. Yeah.
Civil War.
It's the only one that matters.
The Civil War. It is the only one that matters. God damn it. But it's like every fucking country on earth has had some type of Civil War. They're going on now. The French have one every 5 years.
Ours only lasted a couple of days, so it was called the Rebellion.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a few days, Easter weekend, the boys kind of
half of them got pitch capped.
Yeah.
So.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, but the Civil War.
Hey, we got through it much quicker than you guys did. Just throwing it out there.
You did, and a lot less people probably died.
We lost the first one, won the second one, but
yeah. We only had the one. We only had the one, but we got another one coming. Don't you worry.
The Civil War Part 2.
Civil War.
The only Civil War Part 2.
No, it's going to be Civil War.
Sorry, the only other Civil War. That's what it would be.
Oh, fuck. It'll be all right. I hope. I don't know. I'm probably just going to hang out in my basement and wait for it to all blow over. Now, when a soldier happened to celebrate a battle victory or try to calm their nerves with a little hair of the dog and maybe indulge too much, they may be, possibly, met with the punishment of wearing the barrel shirt. Quote, "One wretched delinquent was gratuitously framed in oak, his head being thrust through a hole in one end of the barrel, and the poor fellow loafed about in the most disconsolate manner, looking for all the world like a half-hatched chicken."
Again, cartoon style.
In 1863, wasn't he just in England? What the fuck? Steve gets around.
Apparently his barrel was in Germany with the Spanish or something like that, and sausages, and then ended up in Newcastle. It's the same barrel. It's just a one singular barrel making its way around. That's all it is.
Oh, that's our Steve! And he just jumps on his side and rolls to the next town. Now, in 1863...
D&D character created.
Dude, if we're playing D&D one day, and all of a sudden you're like, a barrel rolls up to you and comes up, "Hi, I'm Steve!" I'm gonna shit. Now, in 1863...
It'd be Steve in a barrel instead.
He just eats everybody.
He's going, "Hi!"
God damn it.
Where's my pen? Steve, the barrel guy.
Now, in 1863, a Maine volunteer infantry lieutenant punished 2 members of his company who had gotten drunk by putting them in barrels with only the hole for the head. And he made them march through town with placards that read, "I am wearing this for getting drunk," for 4 hours. I don't know. It didn't really say how long you had to do it in medieval England, but that seems like a long time to be in a barrel.
Yeah.
The lieutenant said, quote, "I don't believe they will get drunk again very soon."
Came out your side of the barrel drunk, I'm sure.
You probably have to get drunk to forget about being in the barrel.
I just had this mental image of poor Steve lying in bed, still in the barrel. The blanket just kind of half pulled over, half draped over. It's just like...
Just him in bed, his barrel's way up there, just one small blanket that goes atop the barrel. Doesn't even go all the way.
It was like, "Steve." His wife's just lying there like, "Steve, do you want to in the barrel again?" "Yes."
Shaking him awake, just shaking the barrel back and forth. You can see like
slush. It's like some sort of really fucked up drunk Pokemon or something.
Oh, fuck.
"Barrel Steve, I choose you."
What Pokemon is this? Steve!
Steve.
Steve, you don't know me as Ossifer. Now, one officer even claimed that one of his men thanked him years later after being put in the so-called barrel shirt, saying that after the punishment, he never drank again. Which you are already on your way to quitting if that's all it takes for you to stop drinking. I've known people, people have killed other people because they got too drunk and they still didn't stop drinking. So if just getting put in a fucking barrel is enough to get you to stop drinking, you are probably on your way to quitting anyway.
I'm gonna say, yeah, he never drank again in front of the local constabulary.
Yeah,
not in his own basement.
He's like, "I never drank again. I mean, wine, but that doesn't count."
Yeah. No.
There's a Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode that came out this year where Charlie's at a chess tournament with Frank. And then, "Sir," he's got a beer. He's like, "Sir, you can't drink in here." He's like, "So what, like just wine then?" No. Now, Civil War soldiers might have also been forced to don the barrel shirt for stealing. There are records of men having to wear both a barrel and a placard saying things like, "I am a thief!" Perhaps the most fascinating thing about the Drunkard's Cloak is how effective it was despite being relatively tame. Again, there were people that did come out saying that after the humiliation of the Drunkard's Cloak. Now, again, it wasn't just walking around with the cloak, with the barrel on. People threw shit at you. Very disgusting things. You were, embarrassed in front of your friends, family, coworkers, all the people that you knew. So, I guess...
fellow peasants.
Yeah, I guess if the people wallowing with mud can look down on you, then maybe you need to reevaluate your life.
If you think about it, though, the population of anywhere back then was so small in comparison to now. Like, the amount of people that would live in what was considered let's say, again, Newcastle.
Yeah.
Was probably not really many more than what live in the town I live in now.
Yeah.
Really. And you see the same people around the place all the time and stuff like that. Again, unless you're living in like a metropolis like Manhattan back then, even was fucking huge back in the early days, and
right.
But yeah, so there's a higher chance then of it being an issue and you being like, it'd be different if I was walked through Dublin with it, nobody would ever people remember when I never see these people ever again. Whereas back then,
I was pantsless in Dublin last week. I don't give a fuck.
Nobody mentioned anything about my giant barrel and
my giant drinking.
Anything, I got loads of high fives and everything, and everybody's like, "Yeah, the barrel guy!"
Well, yeah, you were probably much more susceptible to becoming a pariah in town by everybody know exactly who you were and your troubles, and then it becomes one of the do you change or do you own it and just become the town drunk?
Yeah.
Own it. Just fucking own it. Now, compared to other methods of punishment or torture, the drunkard's cloak was humane for the time, relying more on the power of public scrutiny than physical pain, and it was often effective in changing someone's behavior, it looks like. So, my fucking speaker just turned on.
Hello? Let me guess.
And now it's off.
I was going to say, it's probably reconnected to your car again.
No, I disconnected my phone from my wife's car. That's not going to happen anymore. Fuck that. I don't use my phone to record anymore now that I have this nice, pretty computer to use. But yes, that was an issue before for people who didn't know. That's honestly all I got. There's not a whole lot out there. No, blood and gore to really focus on, which is good because after the boiling episode and after our collaboration episode with Deb, where you got to hear about men's junk getting ripped off, and the stuff that we have coming down the pipeline here in the next few episodes, I think a little reprieve from the blood and gore is probably a good thing because it's not going to stay that way.
Yeah, but look, sometimes you need these.
Yeah, sometimes you just
lighthearted
laugh at people getting drunk and getting shoved in barrels. I mean,
well, that's it.
Nobody died from it, so it's all right. We can make fun of it all we want. Fuck them. Were you able to find anything pop culture-y on?
More so to do with pillory than anything else. Which is another thing. So
yeah, it is a style of pillory, and that gets its own long episode because there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes in with that, which people did die from the pillory, from pillory type devices.
Like I'm sure you've seen it in cartoons and stuff like not in the same extent, but like again, like we both said, they're whole cartoon style thing. Like we've seen images of that in like the Looney Tune type things again, where you have people in the barrel and they come poking out, like walking around with it. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of visual thing I had in my head straight away.
Most of the things when you see in like cartoons and old movies and shit is called the bankruptcy barrel.
Yeah, that's
those people who they didn't have a penny to their name and they just wore a barrel around because they couldn't afford clothes. Yeah. I'd wondered if that was going to get brought up. Yeah, that's
it's such a funny image. I always found it really funny.
It's like that makes no sense. That barrel probably cost more than new clothes did. Why would you put on the barrel?
Man, nowadays it would. Back then, you just probably find them lying around. Barrels were used for everything back then. They're like a modern day shopping bag.
Here it'd be like the pallets that stuff gets shipped in on like trucks and trains and shit that you just use fork truck to take off. Pallets fucking everywhere. You can build a house out of fucking pallets.
That's true. I did the usual thing of searching through IMDb as well for trying to find stuff, and obviously it only came up with stuff to do with pillory. But funnily enough, it also gives you suggested keywords based on the first keyword that you throw in there, and the suggested keywords are fucking hilarious. So to go along with pillory, we have bare-chested male. The highest suggested one. Here's one that I want to know about as well is obviously public humiliation is there, right? But then this next one's husband-wife relationship. Now, I can only assume the pillory thing, let's say 50 Shades. That's the thing.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I just thought that was really funny. The creepy one is father-daughter relationship.
Ugh.
Torture stuff. But I just thought carnivorous plant apparently. But bare-chested male, I just thought was really fucking funny the way that came up as the top suggested thing to click on.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, so that's... Yeah, there's not really anything aside from...
Yeah,
I think everybody has an image in their head if you're to describe it.
Like, you could probably find stuff about like Oliver Cromwell or something like that. But again, that's a whole different episode that we'll have, whenever we get to it.
Yeah, you're to wait until we cover it, people.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah. Well, thanks to our patrons, Inquisitor Willow Quinn Fowler, Inquisitor Dragabondi, and our torture noob MX Sinister 26. And thank you again to Abby for the email. We appreciate it. If you would like us to read your email, you can send them to torturepod@gmail.com or message us Instagram and all the other social medias, even X. It's fucking Twitter, you piece of shit fucking Elon. God damn it. All of our social medias are @torturepod. Rate, review on Apple, follow, subscribe wherever you feel like listening. I don't really give a shit where you listen, just listen. Head over to our YouTube page. You can find full episodes on there, snippets on there where you can, see our faces. I have the Futurama background. This was actually the wallpaper on my computer, my old computer, for years. It's just Planet Express ship just right into the screen.
That's pretty nice. And the screen's all fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's pretty great. If you'd like to donate to the show, you can on our link tree, which is on our socials. You can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/torturepod. Or you can go to our Patreon and sign up like our other patrons have at patreon.com/torturepod. Still can get a free week on our cult leader tier if it's something you want to do. Go to get some of our merch. redbubble.com/people/torturepod. I just put up a new design. It's literally just the regular logo. Torture, the T says podcaster, no, and it's great big on the front of the shirt.
Oh, cool. So it's not like the pocket.
It's not like the ones with the little patch on the breast. It's covers the whole thing. And I've been working on some other stuff to get up on there. So hint for our next episode. I swear the Barbie movie had nothing to do with it. I promise you. It's just pure coincidence. All right? There you go. Dan, any words of wisdom?
If you're going to go find yourself in a situation where you end up put into a from being drunk.
Yeah.
This is my... You just prepare for it is my whole thing, right? So you can go and get yourself a custom made one if you want, if you know yourself a good old what's the word for a barrel maker again? I can't remember. There's a specific craft.
Barrel maker?
I thought it was a specific word, but anyway, go find yourself one of those guys. Get yourself a nice good, like something like cedar oak or something like that, and
Coopers.
Coopers.
That's Cooper is a barrel maker.
And if your name is Cooper, it's even better. So go get yourself a barrel made. Get it measured for your arms and everything like that. Go pre-prepared. Like I said, get a nice cedar oak one or something like that. Get it nice and get a nice linseed oil maybe put on there, and something so that it smells nice. Put snacks inside. Make sure to put snacks. Plenty of snacks.
Make sure there's shelves inside the barrel.
Then go and make sure. Just here's the number one thing as well: is put a trap door in it so you can go to the toilet. So, because you don't want to be sloshing around and have pee or poop covered snacks or anything. And then basically, so go pre-prepared. If you're going out for a night in the town of Newcastle, go out pre-barreled.
Pre-barreled? It's like pre-gaming, but you pre-barreled.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And just go out and start drinking to your heart's content. You'll be all right. And then if you're walking home and you don't feel like walking, you just tuck inside, turtle style, and roll.
That's exactly what I thought when you said trapdoor. I thought, you just drop down and the lid and the head hole gets covered and the armholes get covered. You're just a barrel. you turtle it.
I was going to say, it's not like a transformer. And if you're actually really good and you and your friends all do it and you've been like Power Rangers and Megazord that shit. Yeah. It's barrel time.
Power of Triceratops.
Go, Barrel Rangers.
When
snacks would be the most important thing for me. Anyway.
You get your barrel made. Make sure that the cooper who makes it cuts out the armholes, but he like leaves them there so nobody can see them. So when you walk up and somebody like wants to pick a fight with you, you just the arms out the holes. Perfectly cut out.
Oh yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Time to make a barrel costume then.
Fuck. All right.
Steve Cooper.
Oh, fuck. Steve Cooper. That's the name of the episode. Old Steve Cooper. God damn.
The hero we need, but that's the one we deserve.
Steve Cooper, and he just falls off a building. That's it. The bat symbol is just a barrel.
Sponsored by Cracker Barrel Cheese.
Fuck, alright, we're gonna get out of here. Take care of yourselves, take care of one another. We'll see ya.
Bye-bye.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Thank you.